Hi and welcome. Thanks for being here. I am really just so thrilled to have Neal and Clara here today. Clara is in this year's Passing the Torch program, and it's just incredible to work with you. And this is our second week-long intensive this week. And so Neal has accompanied you this week, and it's great to have you back in Austin.
Good to be back.
Yeah, thank you. And I've asked, Neal and Clara have a very special way that they're working together, and it's so valuable. And I know the teachers would be so appreciative to be able to hear your inspiration and just what's opened up for you all out of your experience, and particularly Neal, your experience of what you've noticed when Clara came into the program, and what began to, there was already value that you were getting, but there were distinctions that was sort of added that enhanced what you all were doing. And then Clara, to say a little something about what that was like for you, to kind of go to a whole other level with what you're doing as a Pilates teacher.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Sure, why don't you lead in?
So Neal and I are married, and he has muscular dystrophy, which means that he's confined to a wheelchair and has some difficulty, doesn't move like someone who isn't dealing with those issues. So prior to coming into the program with Wendy, I had worked with him a little bit, mostly bringing him to the studio to sort of stretch a little bit. You and I were talking about how prior to doing the Passing the Torch, I sort of had this feeling like some other instructor should be teaching him so that they can kind of force him to do the exercises that we think he should be doing. But right away, starting the program, Wendy had us write out sort of our teaching biography, and I found myself just mostly writing about Neal and how important it was for me that he had some way to find movement. And so it kind of started with that. And then we came down in June, and Wendy had me bring Neal in, which was wonderful, and kind of watched what we had been doing and just very gently supported us in that, and kind of, lit the fire of how we could be working deeper together.
And I've got to say, I was so inspired by what you all were already doing. I mean, I was deeply touched by what you were doing and how you'd found a way to just communicate, in ways that you felt were valuable, and I thought that was brilliant how you were doing what you were doing.
Yeah, so then after the week here, after getting to have that session with Wendy, we went back to Denver and have been working pretty consistently in the studio where I am. 2 hours a week he comes in, and then we do some small things at home. And honestly, it's been amazing on so many levels. I'll let Neal kind of speak to his own body, but for me, as an instructor, really getting to delve deeper into the thing that lit my interest in Pilates in the first place has made me a better teacher with everyone. So I think I used to think of it as sort of, well, when I have time, I can stretch out my husband, but I need to be focused on my clients and, getting things at the studio done. And when I kind of flipped that on its head and really put my work with him at the center of my teaching, it really made a difference through all those other areas. So that was just, I feel like it's really helping me find my inner teacher, more confidence in how to find those connections in others' bodies, not just my own and Neal's.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what's your experience, Neal?
Yeah, I think for me, the coming down here and working with you and kind of getting our thoughts together, really, as far as kind of what we wanted to get out of it. I think the discussions we had down here when we came down in June were really beneficial in that it kind of gave us a reason to commit to getting in the studio twice a week, and sort of that a little bit of purpose. Not just, I think for myself personally, I used to kind of treat it as like, oh, it's a chore, I gotta go work out, it's time to go fling my legs around for a little bit and arms on this machine and see if that helps. But I think after our talk, really with Claire's help, just kind of figuring out really beneficial movements and things that have a purpose and kind of connect to that breathing aspect. You know, for me, one of the bigger things that, you know, late in life is lungs. Is, you know, with muscular dystrophy, there's a diaphragm implications and that kind of thing, and those are sort of new to us, and really just that connecting with breath and kind of how it connects with movement and posture has put a nice spin on what would otherwise be like a not so great news, like a worrisome thing, and really it's like I connected more with the positive sort of aspect of my week.
Yes, and you do. I mean, your work is at a desk. A lot. So I want to really connect back to something that you said a moment ago, which is that your relationship previously, because of what you're dealing with, was your legs kind of throwing your spine around. And we talk about that in relationship to what we do with movement, because that people don't realize how much quite often the limbs can just sort of pull on the spine rather than being empowered by the spine through breath and through how we use gravity. So I really appreciate what you said, because you referred to how powerful that was to really begin to have a relationship with breath, and how that gives you a sense of your natural postural support and your deep biointelligence.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great just really for as far as connecting. You know, like Clara mentioned, I visited other instructors and try. You know, it's just a variety of different exercises, and really without sort of kind of coming back to the same movements, it can be pretty disjointed. Your experiences, you know, one week could be the best, and the next week could be just the worst. Tweak something, and then you don't want to come back. So I think that as far as consistency and kind of working towards a goal of kind of improving these areas, it's been fantastic.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
Just fabulous. And I've taken some pictures, just a couple of pictures of some of the movements that Clara and Neal do together. And what we'll do is do just a little write-up, just a little thing about, a little description of how the exercise flows, what that's like, just for you all to learn from and just kind of see what they're exploring. So, and we'll post that along with this video when we post it. So be looking for those, and then whatever questions that you might have. And just thank you so much. Thank you, and just love working with you. Love meeting you, Neal. And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Fabulous.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah. Continues to be.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. See you soon.